there's nothing wrong with deciding that you want to be a content creator, and that's it. You want to be a content creator and an influencer. You are someone who's making content on a particular platform, whether it's TikTok, whether it's YouTube, whether it's your podcast, etc., right? Facebook, Instagram, etc. You are making content, even blogging, right? Like, you're making content for that platform, and you just want to keep people on that platform. You are working for that platform. You work for YouTube. You sit and you create videos only for YouTube, and you only make money from YouTube and maybe some other little things that come from it. But like, primarily, you're like, I make content for YouTube. They pay me. I am all about doing videos that keep people on their platform. That's why they pay me what they pay me. Great. That is, you are a content creator, you are an influencer, and there is nothing wrong with that. And I hear her saying, like, I just want to show up and just be me, and that's it. And that is beautiful. And there is nothing wrong if you are a business owner who happens to also create content, and you're able to influence, people through your thought leadership. So that is going to be someone like myself, who I have literally, for 8+ years, 8 to 10 years, let's say, I'm gonna say 9 to meet in the middle, because I've been full-time 8 years. I just celebrated 8 years full-time this week on October 22nd, y'all. Oh my goodness. But Jax, no, we already went outside, right? But I've been in this entrepreneur online space 10 years, a little bit over 10 years. So the point is, I have created content so much. That's been a part of my lead generation. That's been a part of me positioning myself as an expert and a thought leader when it comes to sales messaging and positioning communication for specifically women with high value expertise that want to create more impact, leveraging their expertise, their knowledge, their years of experience that they've gotten from personal life, from their professional life, from their education, and from a mix of all the things, right? And they're now using that to create services and events and content and courses and things that they are selling, yes, to, be able to not only impact others, but also it should be impacting your life, right? And, you give, you serve, so you deserve, okay? So there is nothing wrong with both. There's nothing wrong if you want to just be a content creator and influencer. There's nothing, and that's how you're using your platform, right? And you're focused on that. There's nothing wrong if you are a business owner and you leverage content to be a part of your lead generation and your nurturing of your audience and your positioning of your brand, right? There's nothing wrong with them. And there's nothing wrong about being a hybrid of both. So I know that there's this conversation around like being authentic and like just show up and all this stuff. And you should always do that. That should never not be something you sacrifice ever. I am able, right, in my personal opinion and in my experience for the last 10 years, people know like, okay, Kierra does tend to show up more polished because that's what I like. Hey everyone. Okay, so I literally am about, I don't even know how many hours from traveling. I got to spend the weekend with my bestie, Brittany, in Atlanta. And I just got back. I think I got home like midnight, something like that, like 12 something. Hopped in the shower. I think I went to bed like 12:36. And it's early. My fur baby's missing me. Look at this one. This is Jackson. I know okay, there you go. Don't look at what he got on the floor. Anyway, I wanted to do this video really quick because I'm seeing all this stuff about DoorDash, okay? And it's funny because I didn't follow her or know of her for any of the DoorDash stuff of her delivering food and making money that way. I actually followed her from just like the bariatric community. And when she I think she lost like 100 pounds or something like that. So that's how I started following her. I knew nothing of any of the other stuff. But this past weekend, I keep seeing, different things about her. And I wanted to just come in because I love, I'm seeing a lot of people make videos about her. And I love the inspiration of just being authentic. And I was saying that, everything comes into alignment. For me, I've had a couple thoughts. One, if you don't know, like my story and everything, so I started in the online entrepreneur world. 2014, I started doing like my research and stuff. I had a online accessory boutique first. That's what got me online. And then I very quickly, I hired a coach. I was like, oh my God, this is coaching. I do consulting by day in my corporate job because I had my corporate job for 2 years. My target audience also with my boutique was women entrepreneurs, women with brands, women who wanted to use accessories to, elevate their brand, their shine. And so women entrepreneurs was always who I wanted to work with, who I wanted to cater to. If you are a early 2000s girly, then you know Joan Clayton from Girlfriends. Like, that was for me my vision of my ideal client. Like, I love the way that Joan dressed. I loved Joan on Girlfriends. That was always my target audience. So I've always like had this high level women, powerful women, intelligent women, successful women type of like desire of who that was always who I wanted to serve. I started out with that, and very quickly I hired a coach. I was like, oh my God, this is coaching. Like, I should be doing this. And more and more and more and more, I kept saying, this is what I should be doing. Even Brittany and I years ago would have conversations, and she's like, Kierra, like, you should be speaking. It was one of those, like, I started one business and immediately, like, in every part of my body was like, oh my God, I never knew that this thing I've been doing since I was 7, giving people advice, having something to say, asking questions, being told I was nosy, when really I was a deeper thinker. And literally that has been a skill as a coach. Someone was on one of my calls this past week, and they sent me a message, and they were like, I need to give you your flowers. They were talking about me coaching them through something, and they're an entrepreneur. They've been in business, I think 10 years or 12 years, somewhere between 10 and 12 years. And it's just really beautiful that I do a mix of strategy and a mix of coaching. Strategy is like, hey, from a positioning communication standpoint, these are the strategies that you need to better communicate what it is that you do and position it so that you can present it and package it and profit off of it more powerfully. And then there's times where I have to go into full like coaching mode. I am your sales messaging coach. So there's some sales messaging, positioning, communication strategies, but then there's also coaching. There's sometimes things that comes up with like your visibility mindset, your sales mindset. And also when it comes to your message, like you understanding why am I holding myself back from saying this thing that I really want to say? So there's a mix of strategy and mindset that I've always done with my clients. And so this person was just giving me flowers and acknowledging the way that I balance the two. And so the reason why I wanted to come in here and talk about this is because there are differences. And I want to be very clear, as someone who does show up in many of my videos very polished, I have edited videos, and you still see my personality inside out because that's never going to leave me. I love the term high-low lux. If you know Janae Naylor over at High-Low Lux, you know, the high-low skirts. I've used that term before, H-I-L-O, like high-low, because that to me like definitely like showcases who I am. Like I've talked before about like I will mix a silk skirt from a Banana Republic with a shirt from like Old Navy or whatever it is. Like I don't have an issue. Like anyway, I'm definitely like, I've never been a labels person. That's just how I was raised. I'm expressing that because I've never been this like luxury high. Like when you think about high-low, so the high and high-low, even when I come into business, high ticket, premium pricing, like none of those, or just having premium offers, let me say that. None of those things to me are dictated by necessarily the price and the name brand, not just the title, because there's so many things where the title is there and they look crazy. I'll be looking at stuff like, you pay what for what? That looks horrible. Versus, girl, I got this over here for this. So it's about other things, right? And so it's about quality. It's about, and even when you think about transformational work, it's about the experience. It's about how you make things feel. It's not always just the brand, the name, the title. And to me, a lot of those things sometimes are like ego driven. It's nothing wrong with it, but there's something with like, it's when it's like really ego driven and it's like, oh, you're just doing this so that you can like fit in. So for me, the reason why I'm explaining all that is like my stuff, I will have videos that are super polished and I will have videos that are not. I am a high-low lux girl. And for me, what that means is like everything for me is about more so the experience and the feeling. You know what I mean? Like you can have people come into any experience. I've had people come into my $27, $47, $97 things. And they are like, oh my God, Kierra, I cannot believe, even free stuff, free calls, a free call that I held last week or the week before last, where they're like, I cannot believe how you served us. So that is why if you hear me use the term high value a lot, instead of only using high ticket and premium, because so many people get it twisted thinking that it's all about just the number of the offer. And the number is important and the quality of the experience is important. And you have high value expertise. And in your business model, you can have low, medium, high ticket offers. I have a whole series where I talked about your business model. All right. Now that I've said that, the reason why I'm talking about this in relation to DoorDash is because I just want to say this. I have at this time, so it's October, the last week of October 2024. I think it's October 29th. I hear her talking a lot about like the money that she's made on YouTube, which is so amazing, so beautiful. I know she's been working at it for I think 4 or 5 years, and what I heard, I don't know if she said it or somebody else said it, I can't remember, but I think the last 5 months she's gotten really, really, really consistent. And actually, I did hear her say like she felt like God was like, you need to be consistent. You need to really show up for this. Okay, so I've heard her out her mouth say, I don't want to create a course. I don't want to create a product. People are asking her, can you teach this? And can you do that? And she's like, I don't want to do that. I just want to show up and do videos and be me. And that's it. And that is beautiful for her. And there's nothing wrong with that. And I actually commented on her platform. She said something about she didn't want to take money from, like she didn't want to take from people. And I get, what she means. But for me, I'm always like reminding people, one, intention is everything. Okay. I only hold space for women of high intention, high integrity, right? And if any of my branding, you hear me say impact-driven women. When you are an impact-driven woman, you understand there is a level of impact that I am able to create because I am taken care of through my business. There is a level of impact that I'm able to create in my home because I'm able to do work that fulfills me. There is a level of presence that I'm able to have that I believe with every bone in me, I would not necessarily be able to have if I was in the corporate experience that I had before. I'm not knocking all corporate experiences. I'm saying that with the corporate experience that I had, there was a lot of travel involved. There was the way that some people would work, I didn't necessarily love. And so, and I had experiences where I love the people that I work with also in the company. So there were just things where like I just didn't feel valued. I just didn't feel seen. I didn't feel appreciated. I also knew inside of me that there was something deeper that I wanted to be selling in the world, right? So we have a product, we're selling it, but there is something so much bigger that I wanted. And for a lot of years, I could see what we were doing in the world and what our product represented. But then towards like, more of when I started going into entrepreneurship, it was more so like, but I feel like there's something else that I'm supposed to be here talking about and that I'm supposed to be here doing. And I don't think I was created to talk about this item. I think that all my shine is meant to be used for something else. I am not taking from anyone. If you have been able to take your expertise, your high value expertise, your years of experience, your personal experience, your levels of expertise, your knowledge, your thought leadership, if you've been able to take that and you've been able to leverage it and go use it to inspire other people through YouTube, through your podcast, through your speaking, through your courses, through your coaching, through your consulting, through your books, right, and authorship, right, through events that you have in person or virtual, etc., etc., etc. If you've been able to take those things and it has done good in the world, and somebody is exchanging money for that book. I paid $10 for that book. I paid $20 for that book. I paid $100 for that course. I paid $1,000 for that coaching. Like I've paid, $10,000 for maybe a very high level or mid-level done for you service, whatever that is. Like, and then you were able to leverage that to create more impact in your life and create more impact for others. That is good. That is good, because there are so many things that we can buy in this world that are not, we really don't need them. You know what I mean? And so I just like when I'm working with my clients in my program. So, in my main program, we're all about your, positioning, communication strategies and things with your, positioning your high value expertise, your business model, and the packages and services that you offer, and being able to really position yourself to monetize your message, basically, right? Master and monetize your message. But there is a lot of mindset work that we do, so much so that we have a level of the program that's only mindset. If you didn't know that, now you know. So you can join an entry level of the program if you really need to build what I call your mindset to monetize. Hey, before you keep going with this YouTube video, I know that you're like, oh my gosh, I am getting so much value from this video, whether you found me 5 minutes ago, 5 months ago, 5 years ago, it doesn't matter. And I know that you're ready to implement this and bring this over into your actual sales, marketing, and brand messaging. So I want you to give me literally 30 minutes to help you elevate the positioning communication strategies that you are using in your sales message messaging so you can command more of the clients, community members, and cash your work deserves. You have high value expertise and experience that you bring to the table. You are a powerhouse. You are here to create more impact with your gifts and your genius. Okay. Your messaging should not have you out here looking like an amateur. Okay. So in this strategy session, I am going to help you step into a space where you're able to better dominate your niche and your industry with elevated messaging that commands higher rates for your services, your programs, your events, your digital products, and your speaking. Specifically in this session, we are going to identify the biggest element in your messaging that is costing you clients, that has your clients that you really want to be attracting overlooking you and has you leaving money on the table. We're going to dive into the number one tweak that you can make in your sales strategy, okay, your sales messaging, your visibility strategies to position your offer and your expertise more powerfully now, not later. And we're going to outline the exact adjustments that you can make in your content. You're actually going to bring a piece of content so that we can actually start to dive in and start to tweak things while we are on the line on the Zoom. You're going to get all of these things in a notes document that's specific to you in a private client folder. And you're going to be like, Kierra, I don't even understand how we got through all of that in 30 minutes. Okay. So go ahead somewhere around this video, grab the link to your session. If you value personalized messaging, sales, visibility, content feedback, if you want actionable, real advice, if you want not to be tricked into a sales conversation just to ask you a bunch of questions and you leave with no value, but if you actually want to have real consulting happening so that you can elevate your sales messaging, your positioning, communication strategies, how you're positioning your offer, if there's any mindset stuff coming out with that, we're going to go through content, we're going to go through who your client is and start to really work on these things so that you can start implementing them into your next level message now, not later. So go ahead and grab your one-on-one session with me so that we can captivate premium, pre-qualified, and pre-sold clients who are ready to invest while also pre-positioning you, your expertise, and the impact that you're here to make with your work so that you can convert higher and quicker. I can't wait to see you inside your session. Bye, love. And so there is nothing wrong with deciding that you want to be, and this is what I came in to talk about. There's nothing wrong with deciding that you want to be a content creator, and that's it. You want to be a content creator and an influencer. You are someone who's making content on a particular platform, whether it's TikTok, whether it's YouTube, whether it's your podcast, etc., right? Facebook, Instagram, etc. You are making content, even blogging, right? Like you're making content for that platform and you just want to keep people on that platform. You are working for that platform. You work for YouTube. You sit and you create videos only for YouTube and you only make money from YouTube and maybe some other little things that come from it. But like primarily you're like, I make content for YouTube. They pay me. I am all about doing videos that keep people on their platform. That's why they pay me what they pay me. Great. That is, you are a content creator, you are an influencer, and there is nothing wrong with that. And I hear her saying like, I just want to show up and just be me and that's it. And that is beautiful. And there is nothing wrong if you are a business owner who happens to also create content and you're able to influence, people through your thought leadership. So that is going to be someone like myself who I have literally for 8+ years, 8 to 10 years, let's say, I'm gonna say 9 to meet in the middle because I've been full-time 8 years. I just celebrated 8 years full-time this week on October 22nd, y'all. Oh my goodness. But I've been in this entrepreneur online space 10 years, a little bit over 10 years. So the point is, I have created content so much. That's been a part of my lead generation. That's been a part of me positioning myself as an expert and a thought leader when it comes to sales messaging and positioning communication for specifically women with high value expertise that want to create more impact, leveraging their expertise, their knowledge, their years of experience that they've gotten from personal life, from their professional life, from their education, and from a mix of all the things, right? And they're now using that to create services and events and content and courses and things that they are selling, yes, to, be able to not only impact others, but also it should be impacting your life, right? And, you give, you serve, so you deserve, okay? There is nothing wrong with both. There's nothing wrong if you want to just be a content creator and influencer. There's nothing, and that's how you're using your platform, right? And you're focused on that. There's nothing wrong if you are a business owner and you leverage content to be a part of your lead generation and your nurturing of your audience and your positioning of your brand, right? There's nothing wrong with them. And there's nothing wrong about being a hybrid of both. So I know that there's this conversation around like being authentic and like just show up and all the stuff. And you should always do that. That should never not be something you sacrifice ever. I am able, right, in my personal opinion and in my experience for the last 10 years, People know like, okay, Kierra does tend to show up more polished because that's what I like, right? I come from a grandmother who was stylish in that way. I come from a, like, okay, I do get dressed up. I don't know. I wish I remember what article this was. I wish I did do a better job of tracking different articles and podcast episodes and things like that I did more in the beginning, like so that I could remember these things. When I started to work from home, so I've worked from home as an employee and as an entrepreneur. So I've worked from home since like 2011, 2012. So for me, I found out very early that I needed to get dressed for like motivation. I needed to get dressed to make me feel like I was going somewhere. Sometimes like when you work from home, and especially like even back then when I started, I was single. So, there was no one else living with me, pet or partner, so, or roommate or anything. I also was like 8 hours from my family, because I lived in Atlanta and then they lived in Virginia and also in New Jersey. So that's even further. So, and I didn't necessarily know anyone when I moved to Atlanta first. So there were so many factors that, like, for me working from home, I didn't know this at the time, but basically what was happening was I had to figure out ways to make sure mentally I was like good, to make sure mentally that I got out the house, that I made friends. I was using meetup.com. That's how actually my best friend and I that just came back from visiting met, my sissy. And I had to make sure that like I had to get dressed because I just had to get dressed like that. But that was just something for me. I also am someone who I do like, dressing. And of course I had a whole accessories boutique. So, I have days where like I don't feel like dressing up a ton, but then I have days where like I'll have on some cute bottoms and literally I'll be in here like, there is no one that's going to see these bottoms because everybody's seeing me head up. Nobody's seeing my whole outfit unless I take a picture or do a video or something like that. But like, I think you know what I mean. If you work from home, you understand, especially if you are someone who like, you are stylish. And so I went through a phase where like I was very uncomfortable with my body in middle school. I went through a phase of like straight t-shirts, capris, like had a t-shirt in every color, completely oversized because my boobs were big. I was very uncomfortable with my body. And so I think what happened was then in high school when I started caring more about my looks and I wanted to wear things that were a little bit more fitted and a little bit more like could show off my curves, and I wasn't trying to hide my curves the way that I was from like 11, 12, 13, and then like going into 14 and then going into high school and feeling like, you know what? No, like I have boobs and like I'm going to show, like I was embracing my body. So I think what it was to go to like, to feel that way in high school and college, coming into myself, into my style and all that. And then to go into a space where like, no one has to actually see what I'm wearing every day. I did have meetings and stuff, but like not every day the way you would go to work. I think for me, like my style and all of that, it was connected to more. And so the reason I'm sharing that story with you is because I don't dress up for somebody else. I don't dress up for my audience. I don't dress up for my partner. I don't dress up for like the camera necessarily. Of course, if I'm going to certain events and if I'm having a photo shoot, there is that. But what I'm saying is like when I am in the house, me, myself, and I, these two little dogs who don't give a crap what the heck I got on, okay? I am literally getting dressed for me. There was one day this month where I just wanted to wear a long dress. I wore a long printed dress just because. And we ended up going to dinner that night, but it was like completely impromptu. It was not a plan. There's times where I'm like, I want to wear a silk skirt today. There are times where I don't do it as much now, but there definitely were times where like my first 5-6 years working from home, I would put shoes on. If you've ever done this, let me know. I don't care if you have it. I don't feel any way of like if I'm the only one in the whole world that does this. I know that I'm not. But like there was something about the reason why I brought up the heels. There was something about me putting on heels that just made me, Jax, leave your brother alone. It just made me feel like I was elevated. Like it just gave me a thing. And so like even I used to tell like years ago clients like on your sales calls, get dressed, put on a bad outfit, put on that red lip. Not saying that those are the things that make you powerful and make you look away. It had nothing to do with looks is what I'm saying. It had everything to do with the embodiment. Just me, like I literally am walking around this house with red lipstick on. I will put perfume on. Ain't nobody smelling me through the camera. I'm putting perfume on because of how it makes me feel. And so I just wanted to bring that into this conversation of there's authenticity, but I just wanted to say, now I know I'm here today. I happen to have a bonnet, but that was because I told y'all I was traveling. Today I have a team meeting and it's an admin office day. Tomorrow and Thursday I have lots to do. So today I'm just like, listen, this is what you got. And that's okay. But best believe, my video. Listen, Kierra will put down her pink curls, and I ain't the best makeup person, but I'm going to put a little something, or at least, something. But it doesn't matter. Like, I have felt sometimes people try to shame me and say that, like, oh, your stuff is edited and you show up really pretty. And I've had my own insecurities with myself. Like I'm sitting here and explaining to you from when I was little, right? These insecurities that I've had. So to sit and to have people say these things, I'm like, oh, well, thank you. Like, I feel like, listen, I tell people all the time, don't come to me for no makeup. I see the YouTube baddies with their makeup and their lashes and their contour and their this and their that. I'm like, I don't know how to do none of that. I don't know how to do none of that. I have paid for classes and then I don't go practice, right? Because really it's like, is it really a thing that I want to know how to do every single day? I don't think so. As of now, it could change. But my point is, like, people have like shaped me like, oh, well, you show up so perfect. And what I don't want to have, which I'm like, this is not perfect. Like, have you seen this? So everything is subjective, right? What you see as perfect is different than what I see as perfect, et cetera, et cetera. And perfection doesn't even exist. I tell my clients all the time, I'm sorry, y'all, I don't have a tripod. My hand is shaking. I do, but I don't feel like getting it. So perfection is subjective, like pretty is subjective, all the things. Show up this is what I say from a visibility standpoint. Show up in the way that is going to allow you to feel like you can speak and be your best. I can speak and be my best in this moment, regardless of my bonnet, regardless of the fact that I don't have a bra on, I have my pajamas on, because I know that what it is that I'm saying is so pure and is so needed and it's it's on my heart. I don't feel like waiting. And y'all, I'm getting older too. My memory, oh my gosh, I've been talking about this with my team. I've been talking about this with my friends. My memory, as far as like, just the realness of what I want to say. I know it's going to be great if I say it later too, but it's going to be just as good if I say it now. My hair isn't going to change it. For some people, it might. For some people, you might have clicked on this and you might be like, whoo, why is she representing her brand like that? For some people, they might have even gotten to this part, right? It doesn't matter, right? There are women who do make 7 and 8 figures who literally will have a video with a bonnet. I'm just using the bonnet just because that's what I have on. As we have this conversation on authenticity, I think it's important that we don't make up image of what authenticity needs to look like. That's where I was going. So yes, I know how I'm showing up and it's like, well, Kierra, like this is how you showed up. But I have a lot of videos where I'm just as much as me and I have my hair down and I have makeup on or I have makeup off. You will kill yourself trying to figure out, well, what does authenticity look like to this person and that person? We can't shame people for their authenticity, even if their authenticity is high-low lux. If their authenticity is, I show up put together, but that's because that's how it makes me feel. And that's where I was going with my story is like, I do so many things in this house because of how it makes me feel. I will put on a silk skirt that nobody will see because I don't take a picture of it every day. I will put on perfume that nobody else is going to smell. None of y'all going to smell. Can you smell it? Can you smell it? No. Okay. Like, and yet for me, it's because it allows me to just feel like, I don't know why my shoulder just goes up. It just makes me feel like this. And, I can remember being a little girl and like, oh, I thought about my grandmother. I can remember being a little girl. Oh, my picture of my grandma. Let me show y'all. I can remember, sorry, my phone is on the charger, so that's why I can't. This is my grandma. That's Linda Greggs. Y'all see that red lipstick? When I tell y'all, this is what I was about to talk about actually was the red lipstick. Her lipstick, like this was a stylish woman and that's just what she passed down. There is something that is just, it's feminine and it's so beautiful And it feels, that's what connects for me, what feels powerful. And I just started getting into sneakers. Like, I'm not a big sneaker person, but y'all, I just started getting into sneakers. Like, oh, that's another conversation. But I never used to be into sneakers. Like, that didn't feel so feminine to me. And now, like, I wore like a cute blazer with like a shirt, some jeans. I put some sneakers on with. I might put up a picture. Like, I love pops of color. Look, a fat boy, my fat boy. He's like, excuse me. My point is, as we look at different people, whether it's Dodash, whether it's anybody else, define what authenticity means and looks like for you. Allow duality to exist. Both can exist. My authenticity today looks like this, and my authenticity tomorrow looks like that. There is no one picture of what it looks like. I think the moral of the story is, especially for me as a messaging coach as well, what is it that you're wanting us? That's really what I believe she's saying. Don't let the stuff stop you from what you are here to do. If the lashes, if the makeup, if the hair is stopping you from doing the thing, don't let that be the case. If looking for a perfect thumbnail and all that is stopping you from putting out the 3 videos that you recorded this past week, don't let that stop you. If there are imperfections about yourself and your body and just things like that that's stopping you, like, that's where you got to take a look. I hope that you got some nuggets from this. I hope that this empowers you to know you get to define what authenticity means for you. I don't want this narrative to be authenticity means I have to look broke down and like I have to look a crusty hot mess and like all that. Like, authenticity means it starts with also your voice and what it is that you are here to say. And then what is the presence that you want to relay that in that's going to honor what it is that you want to say and how you want to say it in this moment. And in this moment, if this is how I want to show up and do it, great. And guess what? There's a lot of other content where I show up and I share it with just as much as me, right? But I do have it a little bit more organized because I want it to be that way for you. I want to feel a way when I'm recording my videos. I want to feel a way when I watch this video 5 years from now or 10 years from now. And I'm going to feel just as good about that video and this video either way, right? Because I'm listening to the message that I share and I know that it's going to relate to who it needs to relate to. So there has to be a balance, but we also don't be shaming people who do want to have a little bit more of a polished look, if that is what they desire. Now, I do think we have to check in on who am I doing that for? Who am I doing that for? And that's why I was giving the examples of like me spraying the perfume on myself in the middle of my house. You know, Mike is gone. He ain't going to be back till later. It's me, myself, and I smelling that perfume. But that's exactly who I did it for. When I think about my therapist, she was like, what would your little girl say to your life right now? And I was like, oh my gosh, she would say it's so fabulous. And so the reality is there is a little Kierra that exists within me, and there's your little you that exists within you. And that little girl in me, right, who was very like Miss Missy, as my grandmother called me. And I went through this period where I lost my shine because my body started changing and I didn't recognize who I saw in the mirror. And she felt wrong compared to the Aaliyah and the Beyonce, the Destiny's Child and the, well, TLC, like all the people in the 90s, right? Like she didn't look like her. She didn't, like the Kim Parkers, right, is who I felt like. And Kim wasn't even big. That's a whole nother conversation. I hope that this video serves you. I hope that you got some nuggets from it. I hope that it inspires you to redefine what authenticity means and looks like for you and for your brand and for your business and for your vision and for who it is that you are here to be. And that's really the point, is just show up authentically in that. And authenticity also needs to have duality, where there's today, here is how I feel like presenting myself. It is okay that your authenticity looks like this 3 days a week, and then one day it looks like that, and the next day it looks like that. Like, that's you. That's versatility. Like, we need to stop putting ourselves in a box. Like, duality exists. What are you here to say? What are you here to do? Do that. And how are you going to show up at your best to support that? That is it. I love you. Until next time, love, shine, and success. Make sure you share this video with a biz bestie, a mastermind sister, or an accountability buddy who you know needs to hear it. And go check out some of my other videos. I have videos. If this is like resonating with you, and you have some other things coming up, you probably have something around comparison coming up. If you want to keep fighting through that mindset trash that is happening, I have a video all about comparison with 5 tips on how to shift through that. I also have a video about self-promotion, because if you're watching this and this resonates with you and we're talking about authenticity and you showing up and being visible, we also need to talk about you promoting yourself, with your content, sharing your expertise, all those good things. So there are 2 videos that I actually have. One that talks more about the mindset and confidence and shifting your fear around self-promotion. And then a second one that actually goes through like, here are some actual strategies if you are on more of the side of like, I want to make sure that I'm elevating my personal brand to elevate how I'm positioning myself and presenting myself in my marketplace and those types of things. So there are 2 videos I have on self-promotion, and there's a couple other videos as well for you, but those are some good ones to definitely check out next. All right, loves, talk to you soon. Bye.